Good morning, boys and girls. Now, I've got a story to tell you that really happened. It was a true experience. I'd say it happened about a few years ago. And my name is Abby. I'm 10 years old. And just imagine this with me. You're walking down the high street. It's during the summertime, so the sun is out and the sky is nice and blue. So now, I'm doing this with my sister Alicia and my mum. And so we're walking down the street, and so I'm just sort of looking around and taking in the familiar sights I see every day whenever I'm walking down. And then, all of a sudden, I look at the ground and I see something. You wouldn't believe this. I saw a little creature that was actually on the concrete. Now, I was stunned because it looked like a sea creature. Would you believe that? A sea creature on the ground. Now, you're thinking, I don't think it's supposed to be there, right? So, I bent down because I said, look, Mom, there's something on the ground, and I think it's alive. Now, Mom's looking at me and she's saying, Abby, look, I don't think that one's alive. It's just one of those rubbery little toys that you sometimes buy in the store that are so stretchy and realistic. And someone just left it on the ground. But something told me to go down on my knees and just take a good look at it. So I'm sort of looking there. It actually began to turn its little head towards me, and it was breathing. And I knew, that's definitely alive. And then, when Mum finally got to look, she said, it might be a newt. Now, we were so stunned by it. A newt who's supposed to be in the water or on a lily pad, instead it's on the street. I'm like, how did that happen? So, we finally picked it up, and I'm sort of stroking the newt, because one of the things that happens if you're not in the area you're supposed to be, in this case for the newt, it means that it's dehydrated. In other words, it doesn't have enough water. You see, newts, they are like fresh green coloured amphibians. They have smooth skin and they have a tail. Now they have lungs, so they breathe. They don't have gills like a fish. And the amphibian, it means it's a little sea creature that lives on land and lives in the water, right? Now, when it's on land, it can't be too far from water, because if it gets too hot, then it has to go back in the water to make its skin smooth again so that it doesn't get dry. But, however, this one was way too far. If you were the newt, you'd be something like 10 miles away. Practically, for the newt is a long way away. So we had to take the newt and we had to put it back. We knew exactly when to put it, because we weren't too far from this garden. And this garden had a pool. Now, this pool was pretty large, and in the middle it had a fountain and it had some lily pads that were open during the summertime. So we took the newt there, and then we set the newt on one of the open lily pads. Now, because of the newt's weight, the lily pad was sinking into the water. So water was swirling in, making a bit like a swimming pool, almost like a paddling pool for it to practice swimming and to get its skin smooth and wet again. So it's there, sort of swimming around. Finally, when the lily pad is enough under the water, it climbs over to the edge, and then into the pool it went. Now, for a moment, it sort of hesitated, and then it darted off. Now, I was wondering, wow, that's one of the few times in my life I've got to actually put an animal back into its environment, or in its habitat. And so I'm thinking, how could it have gone to the street when it's supposed to be either swimming in the pond or on a lily pad enjoying the sunshine? So we assumed that it's sort of there on the lily pad, and then a bird came and picked it up, poor thing. And then, as it flew over the high street, it probably dropped the newt. And we were the ones that found it in trouble, Jesus can help you no matter what situation you're in. Now, in Isaiah 41:10, the message simply is, don't be afraid, because I'm with you. I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. And I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. So in other words, it means sometimes you can be in your environment and then out of nowhere, something bad happens. But you know what? Jesus knows how to rescue you. And when he rescues you, he can put you back where you belong. Who would like to pray?